Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we bring you the most relevant and timely news from all corners of the continent. Our mission is to showcase the diversity, beauty, and strength of Africa, and to provide a platform for African voices to be heard.
Last week on Monday, at the National Heroes Acre, we witnessed different factions singing songs, some supporting you, others supporting your deputy. And you've also said that you are constitutional, you are constitutionalist, and you are going to respect the constitution, and you plan to leave at the end of your term. But then there's a lot of confusion around that. Because if you look, there's been a push. A push to amend the constitution to 2030. And also there's been reports that you've had meetings with what they call affiliates of the president at the farm on the same issue. So we just want to find out from you, what is your position on the push for the 2030?
It's not imaginable that there is anybody in the country who can push me. I feel very unpushable. And very solid. And I've always said I'm a constitutionalist. My 2 terms, when they come to an end, the country and the party will move on by electing my successor. That is clear day.
Maybe a follow-up, Your Excellency, is the respect which is expected either of the presidency, the president as a whole, as displayed not when you were there only at the Heroes Acre, but even before. We could see this rancor, the respect which is being displayed by either members of the public. It leaves a lot to be desired, isn't it? That sometimes people shout at your deputies or shout in favor of you or in favor of your deputy. How do you see it? The respect which is coming out either from the social media, from the media, denigrating.
I'm so happy. This is the vibrancy of democracy. The foolish and the wise both have their day in Zimbabwe.
I know.
Yes, it's not finished. Continue.
Yeah, I think I'm satisfied to some extent. Excellency, are you likely to caution some of the members of the party who go out of their way to denigrate other members of the party after you had understood that discipline is vital in the party? Discipline and respect of the leadership.
I think those who really are ZANU-PF at the heart go by the rules and decorum of ZANU-PF. We have other people who are in ZANU-PF who in themselves are not ZANU-PF, but they dress the ZANU-PF regalia. So you must always see when people talk and they see to which camp they belong as they open their mouths. Ngwashi?
Your Excellency, I need a bit of help here to understand you clearly. I know the whole country needs you to pronounce yourself clearly. You have said and you've restated at this point that you leave when your term ends, or you know when you will leave, the day and time. But like my colleague here said, there's still a lot of confusion. There's the 2030 people are saying you should extend your term to 2030. Can you state and pronounce your position clearly for the whole nation, for the international community, for us, so that when we write our stories, we have the proper information? What is your opinion? When are you leaving, sir?
I thought you are putting it very clearly. I'm very clear that I have 2 terms, and these terms are very definite. And I'm so democratic. When they come to an end, I'll step aside and my party will elect my successor. That is as clear as day. Those who have other imaginations, it's a democratic society for people to dream. But facts will take the day.
Yes, Your Excellency. I think you have been very clear in pronouncing yourself in that particular regard. and you have said you cannot be pushed, but you have been on record saying that the voice of the people is the voice of God. Can you be persuaded, and will you be persuaded to serve beyond 2028?
I'll persuade us, not to persuade you.
You want the last bite? No. Okay, fine. Let's get going. Okay.
Excellent. You are in your second term, and we have seen contradictions within the economy.
Contradiction? What?
Contradictions within the economy. Most of your first term, a lot of people are actually warming up to the policies of the government, and now people they begin to say we are fatigued by the same narrative where the economy continues to tank. Do you believe that Zimbabweans have really understood where you and your government are going in terms of wanting to uplift their lives and better the economy?
Yes. It is not easy to have everybody on board at the same time. But as we move on, people will understand the trajectory we've checked for ourselves. Any policy enunciated by any political party can be subjected to interrogation by other elements in society, and that is democracy. And I'm not worried about that. But we are focused on what we agreed as NPM to implement our policy.
Victoria?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Excellency, for this awesome opportunity. Right from day one, you were very vehement about the economy. And I was also, as a person, very excited because I was also coming from an economics background. I think I just graduated from being business editor then. So things to do with the economy are really on my heart. So from what has happened over the past few years since you took over to where we are today, are you happy with the state of the economy? Do you feel let down, or you feel you've achieved or even overachieved? Are you happy with the way things are? Why am I asking? Is also there are issues that have been simmering. I know last week or the week before you met business. They have their concerns and complaints. We have shops like OK closing. I've also been one of your advocates or ambassadors. Each time people complain about the economy, but I would say, look at this, this and that. It would not have happened ordinarily. This man is working, referring to you. So from your standpoint, are you happy with what has been achieved? Or you'd have wanted us to be somewhere by today, or we're even ahead of where you wanted us to be? What are your thoughts when you sit or you wake up to say, yeah, my economy is firing? Is it firing? From your perspective?
No, I would say that we, as a country or as an economy, would have wanted to be better than the way we are. But challenges continue to face every single economy, not only for Zimbabwe, the entire region, or perhaps as a continent. But I'm happy that as Zimbabwe, we are rising up to the challenge, and we are doing our best to manage our economy and the challenges facing it. And fortunately, recently we've had good rains, and our economy is basically agricultural. And having a good season is a huge impetus with regard to a positive trajectory with the growth of our economy. And I'm happy that our people are embracing this good season we're having. And our people are very hardworking with regard to making sure we stay on course. So we should not be disappointed by challenges that face us. There is no situation where a country sails through without challenges. But I think we are doing better than what people have expected.
Yes, right at the back, Ranga. Mataya.
Your Excellency, in your presentation, you talked about the major challenges of security nature that are happening in the region and global. In the last historic summit between SADC and the DSC, there was a resolution to the effect that army chiefs were directed to meet within 5 days and provide technical direction on an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. I just wanted to hear from you as the SADC chair, how far in terms of progress regarding that issue. There was also a resolution which was passed by the last extraordinary summit, which said that there was need for the organ of politics and security to engage non-state actors in the DRC conflict. I also want to know how far that is on in terms of engaging non-state actors in the resolution of the conflict in the DRC.
All that resolutions are work in progress. Nothing is a standstill. We may want results yesterday, but that is not how the world works.
Ranga, are you happy? You wonderful.
Within 5 days, the 5 days have lapsed now.
Oh, there was a timeline in the communique.
Yes.
So what has happened because time has lapsed? What has happened?
Any progress regarding their meeting and the direction in terms of...
If there was progress, would you know about it?
Which is to say it's classified. Could we move on to the next question? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. My question is on South Africa and Zimbabwe. I think in the past few days, we saw the US actually imposing sanctions on South Africa, and we have been going for 24 years on sanctions. Now my question is, since around 2007-8, when we had our own meltdown, our people moved to South Africa in search of jobs. What then are you planning, while talking to your counterpart, when South Africa is now hit, the economy is hit, they are likely to come back. Are we able as an economy to absorb them? How are we going to respond, knowing that South Africa is our biggest trading partner? If they are hit by sanctions, our economy is not going also to scream.
I can assure you that those who impose sanctions on other countries should have learned a lesson. Zimbabwe growth was faster when we were under sanctions than before sanctions. So if you want the economy to grow fast, you impose sanctions. So we are a good lesson. We have developed and grown our economy under sanctions. I don't think South Africa would be an exception. South Africa is a solid country with a solid economy based on its resources. And I have belief that the people of South Africa are rooted in South Africa themselves. The outside world can only assist what the South Africans themselves can do for their country. So don't lose sleep about the people imposing sanctions on other people.
Don't lose sleep. Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Takuchi Ambaku from NRTV. I'm really excited as the youngest amongst these giants and with my president. So my question comes from what you just said, that you are amused at some of the interpretations we put across when we're telling our stories and writing our copies. Just last week in your first cabinet, you highlighted that you don't want to see punitive taxes on businesses that stifle growth. But at the same time, we have a monetary policy statement that's coming in and saying to farmers in the horticulture sector, for instance, you're now only supposed to retain 70% of your foreign currency instead of 75%. One would look at it and say the president is for development and progress, but on the ground we are seeing a different narrative. What's your take on that?
Things don't get perfected overnight. As we pronounce ourselves pillars of authority in the various sectors of the economy will fall into line, not overnight, but in the process.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, my question is on graft and on corruption. When you came into power in 2017, you were condemning corruption at the center. You even gave people an order of 3 months to return spirited money. They extended it by a month. Then names of the accused were published in newspapers, and that was the end of it. And people now, they believe that your government acts more than it buys. How far with fighting corruption in the country? In fact, some people they are saying that the biggest problem is about the economy, that is corruption.
I think when the dog begins barking, the next is to bite. So if we are barking, What is left is biting.
But for how long, are you continue to back?
You will feel the bite when we bite.
Yes, so close.
Ndamusandu Newsday.
Who's
Ndamusandu Newsday.
Newsday. Ndamusandu? Sandu. Zimbabwean?
Yes. Your Excellency, at the close of last year, at your last cabinet meeting, you indicated that you were not happy with the performance of some of the ministers. And then in the first cabinet meeting this year, you read the Riot Act. The question is, when are you going to see action?
What action do you want me to take?
Reshuffling and sending some people home.
The action I said is the action I wanted my people to hear. That I'm not happy with what they are doing, they have to change. That is precisely why I said what I said.
But Your Excellency, you've said it before. It's not the first time that...
I'll continue to say it. You can also continue to ask.
Yes, Sabisi. Yes, Romaya.
Ah, yes, Romaya.
Yes, Romaya.
Morozoma.
Okay. Transport sector really deregularized at some point, and our private players see private taxis. Is there a long-term plan from the government perspective to address issues and challenges in the mass public transport sector in relation to probably ZUCO and of course the NRZ? We have heard a lot being said about resuscitation of NRZ, but we have not seen anything on the ground in terms of the transportation side.
Yeah, these are challenges which the government is facing. Yes, with the robust transport system, which for some reason is not the same again, but I think it's a challenge which is government we need to address, so that we have a robust public system, transport system for our public. It's a challenge which we are facing as government.
Right, no, just before you do, let's have, yes, Amagumbo.
Your Excellency, going back to the issue of the economy, any particular sectors where we should expect focus on for the year 2025?
For what?
Focus on
In terms of economic growth. And also, are you happy with the role of the young people that they are playing in terms of economic development?
Yeah, our economy is basically agricultural. That is the backbone of our economy. And I'm happy that currently, with good rains we are having, our agricultural sector is on the growth trajectory. And when that happens, it affects the other subsectors of the economy in terms of influencing its growth and the positivity in economic growth. And I'm happy that we have had these good rains. Yes.
Before you do, anyone who hasn't had an opportunity, first opportunity? If not, well, Ranga.
Yes, I understand there is the Presidential War Veterans Fund. I just wanted to ask whether there is any expectation that it can be expanded to include war collaborators, youth and women.
Well, why don't we discuss it instead of the press conference? If there are elements we feel are left out, let them come to the table and say we feel are being left out, and we discuss it. We are brothers and sisters.
Godfrey, your hand was up.
Yeah. Your Excellency, you assumed the insider chairmanship at a very critical time, particularly when you look at the development that are happening in the region, and also combining that with your efforts to try and lift the lives of the Zimbabweans here. The one who want to ask, a guy who is 82, 83 years old, How does it keep going? What keeps you going? Because that's a lot of pressure. What keeps you going? Do you train? Do you do yoga? Do you do what keeps you going?
The more you become older, you become wiser. And this baffles the younger people like you.
A baffled soul does not come back. What do I have? Mungoshi, yes? Oh, sorry, before you, Mungoshi. Zenenga, yes.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Zenenga hatred, Sunday News. I'm just interested to find out, maybe as a follow-up to Gathrie's question, what exactly keeps you awake? What keeps you awake as the president? Because a lot of people just wonder,
You always think when you're asleep. When I sleep, I sleep. When I'm thinking, I'm awake. That answers the question.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
Your Excellency, last week I was in Mwange for a state function. We were commemorating World Radio Day.
World Radio?
Radio Day, yes, in Mwange.
Okay.
Then on my way back, I drove on the Victoria Falls Road. It took us 5 to 6 hours to get to Blawayo from Mwange, because the road is treacherous. It is in a bad state. Fortunately, I come from Chifu. The Chifu area, and our road is excellent, and thanks to you. My question is, that road, the Victoria Falls Road, is an important road to the economy of this country. And I don't need to go into details, tourists. What is government doing about that road and the Chifu road? Because those are important roads.
Yeah, my Minister of Transport, Mr. Mona, is addressing that issue. We've discussed in cabinet that road has deteriorated and requires resources now to be focused on rehabilitating it.
Thank you. Can I also follow?
Sure. Yes.
So, yeah, and last week there was a nasty accident somewhere around Pipe Bridge. 24 lives were lost.
Pipe Bridge.
We saw nasty pictures.
Yes.
Yes, we saw pictures of victims and patients, people who were injured in that accident in hospitals. Sadly, it seems medical staff didn't have the equipment, the tools to help these people. We've seen pictures circulating on social media of people strapped in cardboard boxes, perhaps because there's no equipment. Your Excellency, can you assure the nation that government is seized with this matter and what exactly is being done so that in future, if we have a tragic incident like that, our people will be taken care of?
Yeah, that was a sad situation when I saw it, and we must make sure we correct that. I saw that on the media, and I'm happy that the media has exposed such weaknesses. So we must address that immediately. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Robert.
Your Excellency, the health sector has been a problem, especially, for example, Mpilo today, for the past month, it has been operating on diesel generators because the cables bringing Geza were cut off. And since independence, the major hospitals which have been built, for example, in Harare, it's only Chitungwiza, but the population has ballooned. The population has ballooned, has grown big. So there's no much as far as building infrastructure, health facilities for people in Harare, including Bulawayo. It's only the United Bulawayo and Matade and Mpilo. Whilst the population. It has not happened the way education has expanded. For example, universities have been built in each and every provincial capital. Are we likely to see more referral hospitals being constructed?
I'm not really aware of that urgent need, but my minister responsible for that sector, he has demanded to demand from government what he thinks is needed to expand the facilities.
Yes, Saru.
Yes, thank you, Your Excellency. Which areas do you think we need to improve on as the media? And welfare issues are sort of topical because of the challenges that we are facing. Is government agreeable to support the media material? Is it amenable to that?
What welfare, the welfare issues, can you speak to that so the president can give you a good response? What exactly are we talking about?
The media is currently challenged because of the evolving technologies. I think you sort of indicated that in your speech, that we are sort of grappling with the disruptions that are being caused by new technologies to our business. So is the government agreeable to supporting the media industry in Zimbabwe materially?
What is required is not us to investigate what you need. The media should come forward and they seek government assistance to ameliorate their needs.
Sorry, he's not yet exhausted. Let's just give him time.
And the areas that you feel we need to improve on as an industry?
Not me interrogating improvements on your part. You ask us to support you to improve what you need to be improved.
You made editorial.
Yeah.
The
more you speak well, the better.
Please perfect your speech. Yes, Guthrie, you want to follow?
I want to come in terms of operations, the media, operations, mainstream media, the excellence. It's just a comment, really, and a plea. Most of the mainstream media, they are actually on their knees. Not because of only the prevailing economic environment or the exogenous threats that are caused by big tech companies, but because of the late payments by Treasury. We have had all the media houses, mainstream. We have had to seek meetings with try and cue in our statutory obligations because the money has been coming from the government. And we've tried to engage with lots of promises but very few action. It is our plea, Your Excellency, that if it is necessary, as it is, because we also equip our voice in terms of trying to transmit the government policies, that you step in and perhaps the Treasury, we know that they are skilled, but perhaps they may try to see the importance of making sure that we've got something for us to be able to survive.
Well, I take your plea to the Minister of Finance to give you more hearing. But I'm also sure about this is size of help to give you, but I'll tell him that you've pleaded with me so that you should, the Minister should be able to assist you more. And I think he will listen because you've come to number one to tell another number.
Like I say, don't worry about the son when you have the father. Okay. Yes, the tallest man.
Thank you. One of the key.
You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Maurice Mkwate. I'm the head of channel at Zimpapers Television Network. Yeah, one of the key factors affecting new players in the media industry, television in particular, are the exorbitant fees, particularly license fees, transmission fees that television channels have to pay. For instance, we pay $60,000 to the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe yearly. And we were pleased that at your first cabinet meeting last week, you did mention as one of the key highlights that your ministers have to look at reviewing license fees, taxes, to ensure that the operating environment is favorable for businesses. So we want to find out whether there are any timelines to that review and when we can expect that favorable review, seeing that this is quite affecting the media industry as well, because that's a huge cost on our books and it pretty much affects our operations at the same time.
You should be happy that I'm pleading on your behalf. And who else should plead better than the head of state on your behalf? And I'm doing so.
That's number one. Other numbers are less. Okay. Yes, Ola.
old media, which it is dead. And the impact in new technology, new media, with social media. So we've seen in America, podcast is big, it's growing also in Zimbabwe, which is the area at and we've seen how it is, also helped President Trump to win the elections through Joe Rogan podcast. Are we also going to see government officials on such platforms? On social media, which is controlling the narrative president podcast, ministers on podcast, in are we also going to see that?
Your Excellency, just follow up to what Ola said and just said. I represent New Zealand. Yes, Ziana. When I came in 3 years ago as executive secretary, I went to the library, a good library there, and I was going through the pictures, old pictures, and I saw several pictures of yourself with the late Farem Nyuki, editors of Ziana at the time. You seem to have been a frequent visitor to Ziana. I'm sorry to say, Your Excellency, Ziana is not totally wrong. Ziana is a government entity. It's funded by government. We get a grant from government. Our ministry is doing the best it can to get some money out of treasury for us. We don't have vehicles. I, as a CEO, I drive a cool vehicle that
oh, you actually drive,
We management, reporters for operations, we want to digitize so we can do what Ola 7 is doing, because this is where the media is going. Ziana, Ikusarela Mashure, our counterparts in other countries, in Namibia, Nampa, Opa, Zanis in Zambia, are fully funded by the state. If you went to visit these countries and you went to these organizations, you know, shall see what they are doing there. We want to do the same, but my resources are putting in same. So, those who are not our we have to get through you, maybe that our Namatanga. But I suppose the busy like that, they should remember that it's the enemy. We also need vehicles. And you know what
It's beginning to sound like a trade union now.
Structure
it's funded by the government. I will look at it and do more advice.
Right now, Chief Secretary, I'll look at your complaint and it will be addressed with immediate effect.
Just to remember the point made earlier on by the president. I think it's important for us as a media industry to consolidate our requests as loyal government, and then on that basis, then we can approach the whole matter comprehensively. Maybe that's a matter okay. Yes.
Yes. I want to take you to Your Excellency to SADC, where you are the chairperson, and I'm also the chair.
Oui.
SADC.
Oui.
As SADC, we're pushing our candidates for the AU chairmanship position, and out of 16 countries, we got seven votes. Our candidate got 7 votes, and as SADC, we are pushing a candidate for the AFDB president position, and we have enlisted the support of EAC. How critical is regional solidarity in making your voices heard?
No, we do actually corroborate. What is required is us as SADC is to talk to our regional colleagues, bodies to support our stand. We usually collaborate. I don't see any problems, but what is important is to have dialogue and discussion about what we want to achieve with our other regional bodies.
As a follow-up, Your Excellency, are you not alarmed?
Pardon?
Are you not alarmed that out of 16 countries, we get seven votes for our candidates?
Yeah, I'm not alarmed. That is the beginning of campaign. It's a good start.
It's a race, isn't it? There has to be losers and winners. Okay.
Thank you, Excellency. Anonzi au the checker ZBC radio. Gunzo wangu wakanangana ni just under 45 days will be commemorating the first anniversary of the ZIG currency we reflect gold. Payaka uya up to now. My first question is, are you happy with its performance? Because I'm very kuti. Zimbabwe has an economic problem, but in a currency problem. Number two, I want to say, as we celebrate the anniversary of the ZIG, are you happy with the performance, and are we continuing like this? Ichingo the ZIG and how what is being done with their confidence in their local currency?
I want to share about the ZIG. Zimbabwe gold ndo ZIG ndiyo achera patinayo haingokwanisi kuti musi waiteta munhu wosobva aitambira kufana kwatenge ichita ichatambikwa zvayo ndenenge ichingovapo ichiramba ichingovapo igongovapo.
Yes, Mabena.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We will consolidate the chairman is advised by the Deputy Chief Secretary, but we can't live without talking about Nyae land.
Oh, yes.
We are working hard to support the agriculture sector and also tell the story of the success of the land reform. But we were very young. When others were benefiting, we were too young. As a result, we don't have land to farm, but we are very eager.
Wewe ucheta mwanako akuti mwanawake akuti mwanawake voso shadalendi mimi ne mjiwani yeye ningejiwanda lendi. Our population will continue to grow. Our land will never grow. So we shall all of us fit in the land which we have. As we move on, we shall continue to find ways of accommodating ourselves on the land that which we have. Policies will evolve as we develop and as we mechanize. We shall all be content with the piece of land which we have.
I think Chichemo Excellency, Tione, Minda.
Minda ikboni. Hapana vanhu vatosarudza kuti tinoti ngavawane minda vateti vawane minda. Vose vanokodzera kuwana minda vachaiwana kana minda ichikwanisa kuwanikwa.
Okay, you have a...
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
The IMF recently said, if I may quote, if I may quote, international re-engagement remains critical for debt resolution and areas clearance, which will open the door for access to external financing. So I just wanted to find out where we are at in terms of our re-engagement processes and also in terms of debt clearance.
We're still in that process, and our facilitator is still engaged to do the best he can. Former President Geza is still engaged in that process.
Yeah, maybe just a follow-up to a question. Our arrears and debt resolution champion, Dr. Desina. Yes, his term is coming to an end this year. And if he leaves office, normally when you leave office, people they don't want to talk to you because you won't have that latitude as the FGP president. I wanted to find out from you, are we now going to accelerate our processes such that by the time he leaves office, maybe we are almost there, or maybe we would have completed the process.
Everything possible is being done, and we shall know what achievement we are going to achieve at the end of his term, and we'll begin from there. This one. Yes, Faith.
Regarding the issue of witness chauffeur, there's a lot of speculation around zvese zvaanenge achiita. Vamwe vanenge vachiti ifront yapresident.
Ifront?
Yes. Ndimuri kuvatuma
my front.
So
you see, I see it abundantly. I don't see.
So this issue has been very topical in our communities.
Okay.
Issue yekuti zvinonzi mari yacho aniwanepi, vamwe vachiti no imari ndepresident vanenge vamutuma. So tada kumwe
explain yourself. Vanotuma kudini?
Zvaari kuita zvese izvo achingopa vanhu mota nekupa vanhu.
Undenda mba mari yacho. Ndaona
no.
So find out first where you think I get the money to give people, rather than wasting my time about somebody using his money. So you can't bother me about somebody who is philanthropic. Nenanga achiba kuda taituma mapolisa kana kuna asata vanenge abigwa, please report.
Catherine, I was not good. Okay, that's fine.
No, you can continue asking.
Your Excellency, the vision 2030, it is going to happen or likely to happen after your term is expired. So are we likely to see in the remaining years before the expiration of your term, the government notching a lot of gains for that to be achieved before you leave the office?
Notching what?
Notching the gains to get there before you leave the office in 2028, because we likely to realize it in 2030. So are we likely to see in the remaining years?
Yeah, we are doing our best to achieve our goals, depending on the resources at our disposal. That is our desire. It's one thing to set a goal, it's quite another to achieve the goal you set for yourselves.
There have been some noticeable improvements in the economy. I'll give you an example. Power, there's a lot of work that's happening. 18 months from now, we hear that we likely, and we are hearing from the private sector, yes, we likely to be power self-sufficient. So we have seen the laws. And then, but we are now looking at the currents and the need for the nation to move in one direction. Like we said last week at the burial of the national hero, that let's move in one direction. So are you foreseeing us moving in one direction? Because that is a critical enabler to achieving that vision in 2030. Are you seeing that likely to happen?
I'm bidding the nation, that is yourselves, myself and everybody else, to move in one direction. And that is the duty of a leader, to bid the nation to move in one direction. And that is what I am doing.
Thank you.
No, only last one.
Okay.
Excellence. My ambassador, my brand ambassador in Zimbabwe, senior national team, I know the Warriors. Avana kumusha kwekutambira bhora. Warriors.
You've done a lot. Kuti mastadium makavamba kuti vaigadzire
havana pekutambira.
Havana pekutambira bhora. Nhasi vatambira kuUganda, Nelson Mandela Stadium. Mangwana unotambira kuOrlando Stadium.
So we upgrade them.
You funded to upgrade.
I'm advised by Chief Secretary that the government has released the funding to upgrade our stadiums. We've released the funding to upgrade the stadiums.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, pane innovations angaitwa kuNational Sports Stadium. Pace yacho tingati mabatira avamuita is very slow. Are we likely to see an acceleration because toda kuona zvichifamba kuti isusuka aqualify with the Africa Cup of Nations. It's not about my warriors, team, it's not about at home. To go in South Africa, Peter Mokapa, Orlando, Nelson Mandela, Uganda. Don't you put your Chemo, Your Excellency? Don't you put out the Asians, right? I say, certified.
Jesus, woman, Pan Chatofana quit at Saturday.
Cheguti my innovations, I would conditional sports stadium. Up here.
Okay. 40. Okay, you haven't said anything. Yes, okay, I'll give you. Madam?
Excellency Linda Murilo from Zimbabwe's Radio. I wanted to find out to what extent you think that your foot soldiers, the cabinet ministers, are connected with the people at the grassroots, the communities they serve, and Zimbabweans in general. There is a concern that some of their pronouncements, the policies, are not in tandem with what's on the ground. And we have seen you both talking and acting. We are having this historic engagement. I remember you coming to one of our radio stations, Happy Talk, upon your ascendancy to the presidency. But the concern from the editors, I believe, is that the cabinet ministers especially are not swift in responding to issues that Zimbabweans need to hear. So just engaging editors or members of the media to set clarity on issues that keep Zimbabweans awake at night. To what extent do you believe that they are connected with the people at the grassroots?
Who should satisfy himself or herself that they are swift to respond to these issues? Is it not me?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Have I complained?
So you are happy?
Absolutely.
All right. Current President, well, it appears you have exhausted my editors. I don't seem to see any other hand which is up. And maybe at this juncture.
Sorry, it's only a question.
Okay.
It's wherever we break up as editors.
Sorry?
As we have break up as editors.
No, it just you. You said the one comes editor. Edit my. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. I misunderstood.
Once we are ready, let's get to know, and then we can make arrangements and advise the president.
I'm welcome.
It's better when it's all looking green now.
Oh, yeah.
Better goes in there. As soon as I
No, they're welcome.
We welcome you to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we celebrate the past, present, and future of Africa. We invite you to join us in this journey of discovery and to help shape the narrative of our continent. Together, we can create a brighter future for Africa